Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, let's just look here. We have a draft, okay, the lectures here all about Sudan. Okay, if you look here, this is the drafting for the Sudan as the takeover of the South Sudan, how to take over this South Sudan. Okay, this is our major plan here. So if you look here, this is South Sudan, how the South Sudan was removed right from this border here is removed off. Okay, and then is zoom out, is zoom in and then they become small and then they fit right there in the middle. Okay, so leaving here is space connecting Khartoum, leave here space connecting this line here Khartoum. Okay, so we are connected. So if you look here, this is Khartoum up here, this is Darfur right there, this is the South Sudan right there, this is Equatoria down here, all Sudan. Okay, so now we're gonna be chatting right there. And if you look, we have how many map here? The case is like this. Okay, the removal of this South Sudan is like this. Is basically, and if you look right there on this paper here, that is how it was removed. Okay, and then if you look here, that is on African map, and then we have on world map. It's like this on East African map one. If it's individual, is to become like this as an individual. You can see right there, the whole thing is an individual. If it's an individual, and this is our previous map, which is the Sudan original map. Okay, and then here that is how the systems goes. So, but on the event of this one, they are saying who are this one? RSF. Of course, that is Rapid Support Forces. Rapid Support Forces is RSF, the Sudan military, for which they have the general. That is RSF, and then of which that is Mohammed Hamdom, which is Dagalo. With the at least he's promoted onward 2023 Sudan civil war. He has like roughly 100,000 militaries. That's what they said. And the prime minister of Sudan, for him, he's saying he's the previous, and then the takeover was this Hamdom Dagalo is the coup. Okay, he's after him, and then he's now the prime minister, and then he's both of them, they have each 100,000 military, but on which on overview he's registered roughly Dazis Abdallah Buhand, the father, is registered roughly 109 300 militaries. Okay, 109,300 roughly militaries there. So Dagalo, they said he served as a additional previous warlord with the Darfur, and then for which does is also he's involved with the Khartoum massacres around, he's registered around there. And if you look very much, the so-called the reformations they have and those agendas they have, and then there are quite a lot of questions which were asked there: who is behind the Sudan war? And then of course they have two generals, they are rivaling, because Tilt, the other one, is halfway stepped down and then halfway owned, but it dependability is on the what does is upon the citizen to decide which is able and which is able as an speaker, and then they will go there and then, okay, because otherwise they may be considered as two rivaling parties at the moment. That's how they are registered. And then on the event of who is responsible for that Sudan war, of course they say that is the paramilitary organizations. And then who are the paramilitary organization structures? Their structures are two touches, okay, or they have a tactics. They are looking for tactics in Sudan, and then they are looking for training in Sudan. That's what we mean, okay, the paramilitaries. And then they are looking for subcultural of the indigenous there, and then their functions of the professions, and then that professions that they're looking within the resident of the Khartoum, so that perform them, that they are active, that they are really now a trained military, or they are really now advanced military of that legitimate Khartoum residents, or they are of that particular Sudanese residents. If we are to tackle this map here as a 7, and the map is now 7, as you can see up to down there is as 7, and then are they really eligible to manage from up here to till down there, okay. That is the purpose of that paramilitary organizations, and their structures, which has been told to us, but we have a problem understanding. And then the other countries could be also associated to these kind of paramilitaries. Maybe they've been serving as rebels. When we look at the disadvantages of the paramilitaries, they could be seen as the SPLA, the group that cut this map. Their behavior could be like this guy here, down here, the South Sudan guy. Their behaviors could be like that. Their behavior is maybe full of rebellisms. They've been the rebel, and then maybe they have now seen that Khartoum is in a lot of problems, and those problems could be highlighted down here. That could be the Khartoums may be looking for UN helps, maybe Khartoum looking for a good structural, and then maybe Khartoum is advancing the constructions, maybe Khartoum is looking for digitals, good autos, good electronics, good furnitures, good appliances. That is let's say American standard, or digital doors, locks, cameras. Because when we have a digital doors, we have a digital cameras installed over the doors. They can see their enemies very far, and then all the residents will be able to identify this is a dangerous guy, and then they will call a police, and then police come and then rescue such kind of things. And then that's why those people, they are unable to identify who their rebel could be and who their dangerous guys could be. That's why it contributed to all those areas and those areas. That is when they call it now the paramilitary. Okay, the paramilitary, because it's a tactics and it's only training. They are training if they will be fit to be used as advantage to the resident, or to the citizen right there. So that is their weaknesses. They failed in other area, or they did not fail, but their contributions may be also is important to the help of that particular areas that has been mentioned. But that is structurally we are looking at their advantages and disadvantages on those areas that we fatally see people have a problems. Shall these kind of questions be able to expand war there? No, it cannot expand. If you understand clearly, no need to go with war, because why shall you go with war? Well, we have solutions, and those are the solutions we have for the nations. Those solutions, they are right there. You choose around which map you want to use the most, and then all the citizens of course benefit out of those. That is the solutions we have of course brought forward towards those areas. And then as you can see, on the event of this one act, a contract on behalf of the Sudan government. Of course, that is on their behalf that they may act. Of course, and then we see, and then most Khartoum people said the other conflict was accelerated or escalated by the racial members, the members that is are Russians, and then USA, China, and then Sudan Armed Forces, military, which is SAF, okay, because they have two rivaling teams, and then those two rivaling team, of course, they sent this one, they rescue, and then the rescue ended up maybe also failing because they have bad tactics, and then that's why there is a failure right there. So if you look, that is how the contributions could be. But are those militaries, are they fit? Yes, they are fit. Their age is 18. They are all young men and they are youth. Okay. In the serving as the army, and then they have their commander in chief, that's Lieutenant General Abdul Fattah al Burhan, is the prime minister, of course, and the president of Sudan. But why he is called a prime minister of Sudan? Because the map, you can see there, the map has no agreement. So the map has no agreement. So if you look there, his command is prime minister, because this map is divided. And then they agree temporarily to rule it as divided. So we suggest they use like this. If this is what they are looking to come and become a president here again to here, and then that is how they will use, or the one we show you on the paper here, that is 7 right there, and the 7 come out of this area that we show you, because first we have to isolate this guy, the source in the middle. So they live as this border, the border here, they stay away from the border, so that we will be able to use that 7. Okay, so if you look on those plans, that's how the plans really there works. Okay, for which on the areas of the so-called SAF, that is the Sudan the Armed Forces, they have their general commander, or chief of staffs, and then that is Muhammad, of course, Atman Al Hussein. Of course, he served in 2023, I guess. That is in Khartoum capitals. Okay, and Darfur. Okay, so weaponry, Sudan is a manufacturer and a productive. Okay, and the industrial is thin, is filmed with the Soviet societies such as Russia, Sudanese, Chinese, and then Ukrainians, and many others countries that are manufacturing weapons in Sudan. Okay, so the root cause of those fights, that is how they told us, and then that is the summaries we were able to draft. We research, and then we draft a lot of informations, and then those informations found, yeah, Sudan is rich and is independent, because only that they have this guy here that is not active. And then that's, if you look yesterday, we put this one, we put a few areas to get this guy down here, Silva Kiri, under arrest. His deputy, and then the commander, and then the SPLA commander, or the head of the SPLA, and then his military heads, and then his deputy and himself, the 4 of them, they will be under arrest. Okay, at no negotiation, because for us to proceed, because the investigation still there found they are dodging, and they're saying he's the president, and then why shall we the rest be able to know that this guy? No, you cannot hide the boss, and then they are liar. The guy is not the one up to Khartoum. He cut himself right there, down there, doesn't focus anywhere. and it's become now dodging the whole situations and then lying too much. And if you follow some of the videos they have right there on Facebooks, around 15th and 16th and 17th, that is 2023 April, that is when the Sudan reported roughly 420 lives were lost, and then the personally injured personnel in the hospital are roughly 1,300 injured roughly, and then there are some there are some properties damages. Okay, let's look at the disadvantages of these wars in Sudan. What do they have right there? They reported no water, lack of water, and then they reported no food, lack of food, and then they reported market price has gone also high right there, affecting them. And then they claim also damages to personal properties, and then the evacuations. And then they also reported shall they leave the countries or no. And then they also reported damaged buildings, and then live injured persons. Of course, and with this, what are the futures and the changes does Sudan really need now? Okay, those changes could be the map 7. Those are the changes they will be needing now. And then the end of that particular war there. Okay. And then they should be needing no South Sudan. Okay. This line which they cut right there should remain like that, no South Sudan. Unless they're in the middle like this, as we saw you right there. Uh, and no South Sudan borders except Sudanese borders. Okay, arresting of the Silva Kir, his second command or his third command, the SPLA first command, the second command, and the deputies that will be arrested, lead them to jails, and then have increased stocks at lowest prices. That is what we command. The changes that may come to these people. Have people UNSR the emergencies, and then have reconstruction of the Sudan capital done, and then have advanced constructions, have a digitals such as a digitals autos or electrical autos or good electronics systems which are missing there around the cities, or which did not bring because people are not good enough because the map is damaged, and then there anything coming there the airline bring doesn't get to the people the most. The government cannot even see some of the product, and then they're getting robbed away before they're getting robbed away, and then taken off their hand by force, deposited to another country by force, because people are just benefiting out of them, and then they're minimizing them. No good food, no nothing there they're earning, because they're looking at their skin color, they're mistreating them, and then they're not using them well. Okay, so having that meant we need to improve their auto. That is electrical car, we have to improve it, and then electronics, we have to improve it. Digital furnitures, having a digital furnitures, those kind of furnitures which has light and where you can hook them wireless or within your wall, and then that has a lot of even where you can massage your back and those things, and then has lights, and then where you can see, and then you have better briefing. Even whatever you're watching TV, you have a classical life there. This is when we talk of the digital furnitures. And then the digital appliance is when we mean all the appliances has electronic systems where you set, where you are able to write your food menus on by the electric, by the electric, or by any of those things, and then they has all those systems. And then when we talk of the digital doors, that is like door watchers, where you can be able to monitor who comes in and who come out. And then it reduces the movement of helicopters overhead, monitorings, and then that is it may use less drone shooting, and then that could be a little bit that we could do, because locking and then cameras and then camera installations, and then is a must actually there. So if we look at that one, that could be electrical cars, airplanes, or electrical airlines. That is overview, ladies and gentlemen, that we must observe this country must have. Okay, so that they have at least what is necessarily there, and then that is brought by this 7th as a map, and then configuring that whatever the people inland there, they are able to order product from USA, from China, from India, from Europe, from, let's say, Asia at large, North America at large, and then South America at large, wherever they order the product, they want to ship it to those area, and then we do not hide all of those ones, and then we show you that is the all Sudan to wherever the whole systems read, because this guy down there we isolating because they have the so-called the cut, and then they have their military, which is the SPLA. Whatever you remove them in the future away, they still have that rebels, they are registered. Okay, they've been operating more than my age, more than my father's age, and then more than my grandparents' age, some of them. Okay, and then therefore they operated a lot there, and then for which I'm seeing we are not really gonna do much emphasizing isolating them right there in the middle. If you say it, we are not too good because we are thinking only for us, the Equatorians. No, we are not doing that, because we understand this guy, the South Sudan guy, is more military. He has his own military, like his own business. The business he has is buying a weapon, and then to keep that countries, or to keep his employees. Okay, his security base is his security base. The government has nothing to do about it. That's why we and you and whoever participating with us, that join us, you have to understand this. Shall this be the appropriate measure to before we use this 7 for the entire people? You should use is first isolate the guy in the middle, bring the guy to his father's home. The father's home is alongside right there. You can see the parents' home is right there, where we just isolated in the middle right there. Okay, that's where the parents live. The Dingas and the Nuers, they live. Okay, maybe a Beis, maybe the Bentus, or maybe the Baragazals, or maybe the Bor, or the Waus. That's where they live, and the wows are, they're all right there in the middle. That's the areas we put for you. But when we talk of Equatorials, we talk of Yeas as west, and then we talk of central, that is Juba, as Numule, and then when we talk of this one east, that is Tori, which is Capoeira regions, and the Equators towards the Kenya, and then that is towards central, that is towards Uganda. 3 regions there for the Equatorians, and then the rest there are Dingas in the middle there, and that is the Dingas. For the Equatorians, they drop off all their weapons. They give up with their weapons, because this guy, the one that we want to remember here, never wanna give up the weapons to the government. Around those back 90s work back. Okay, so they don't want to give up the weapons, and then they are torturing the people. they like it. That's how they are using the weapon, because they are brave. They say they are brave. The Equatorians, their soldiers, they give up. The militias, they give up the weapons to those people. Their tanks, their heavy whatever helicopters, they all give it away. Okay, got captured by these people. They took it over. Okay, so they are not longer here very much in Juba. Whatever they have their children's going there, back there, they are going for work, to work there, but that work is idle. It's not a good job that they are doing there. Okay, so that is overview. We are seeing, does those helping, or does those contributing, does those really supportive? So if those as you found they are supportive, and then this is the only suggestion we're using to minimize those war, and then to minimize those violence, so that people understand, and then to get the lectures, and then stay to it, So, ladies and gentlemen, shall you be able to have a questions? I'm not really very much into it. We have mostly all the areas here explained, and then understood, well understood, precise, okay? Because we write it down, and then we're explaining from what has been documented by the government, by the Sudan government, and then we are using the really copyright that the government brought forward, and then that is the copyright policies we should wait for. And then we should hold ourselves like this, and then let's wait for this guy, the South Sudan guy, to drop that, not the weapon, but to drop that border. Okay, to drop those borders. There are 6 borders. That is the Central African border. That is the Democratic Republic of the Congo border. And then that is the Ugandan border. And then that is the Kenyan border. Then that is the Ethiopian border. That is the 5 borders there. Okay. If once they drop it, and then once they drop it, you can see there. You can see this is Central Africa right there. No, this is Ethiopia right there. This is Kenya. This is Uganda. This is DRC. This is Central Africa. And the guy is operating where? Right there. If you see that map right there, is not beyond. So that's where they're operating, right? So there are 5 borders there. You see these 5 countries. The Democratic Republic of Congo is big. And this guy here, the South Sudan guy, is the one. Once he sent command, he will run right there, and then you will see Democratic Republic of Congo people running away to Uganda. Uganda is too small there, but Uganda defeated these East African communities because of English. They're using 100% mostly English. The people there, they are defending themselves because of English. They have to explain themselves with the English. Then they have some people using Kiswahili, others their mother tongues, and then defending little a bit. Okay, so that is how the English helps them, and then that's why if you see they are looking, these people has now future, and then they don't, for that reason. So that's why they are running there to help, to be helped for those purposes. So if you see, that is how we can end this kind of situations. You see, so maybe Khartoum was bombed because of their issue. The issue originated right from them. This guy here is the one propagandering, because Khartoum has a future, only these 7 has a future, and planning to take over their rivers. You see. So they have maybe that challenge, or does ideas of maybe doing worse to those criteria. So if you look, that is what we should do to ensure, we are able as the people there. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, by me, Wayne Sandal, this is the tone.